I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. Hello, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm excited to be here. This is really fun. This is really only my second podcast, actually.
What? No way. What
Yeah.
what was your first podcast?
The first one was with Kisos and Corey.
Yes.
And it was like a Christmas episode that I was on, and now here we are.
And
So
now here
st-
we are.
still very new to the podcast game.
I feel like all roads lead back to Kisos
Yeah,
in my
all
world of
roads.
queer queer indie world.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to make a big map of how we all connect sometime.
Yeah, 6 degrees of separation, or what's that game?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 6 degrees of Kisos.
Yeah, of Kisos, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm always promoting, but that's all good.
Yeah.
Um, so how's it going? How are things? How's life?
Life is great. Things are going well. I obviously I'm working a daytime job when I'm not, being a
Mm,
pop star. Got
yeah,
a promotion there, so that was kind of cool. Uh,
congratulations.
Thank you. With my music, I just released my EP Sing Stars back in January, and I'm actually working on new stuff now. So I feel like there's a lot of moving pieces, but we're growing, we're evolving, we're keeping up. So it's exciting, it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've always absolutely been a fan of all the stuff that you've released so far. Like, really, really love it.
Oh,
You're
thank
doing
you.
such good stuff. And so, what was your journey into music making, releasing? Have you been doing it for a while, or is Edge of the Kid project a kind of relatively new thing? What's the story?
I've always I feel like people always talk about they were singers since they were little and all that stuff, and I think I took a little more casual approach to that myself. Obviously, I would put on shows for my siblings and my cousins, and I would perform these numbers and stuff like that. But it was just for fun. And then it wasn't until high school that I like decided, well, let me join choir. Let me see, kind of put those talents to use, I guess. And I graduated and still kind of kept going at it, made music for fun, was covering songs on the side, did little local coffee shop gigs, more
Mhm.
acoustic stuff. um, and then I was like, well, you know what, I've always had it in my head to be this like I always thought that I was this like pop star and I wanted to just live out this fantasy.
You
So
are.
I released my debut album Sleep Talk. And then that was really it. I actually had no intentions of doing anything after that point. I just kind of wanted to create this body of work, have it exist, and then just like put it away and then just let it be. But I think with that journey and the outcome of that, and like the people that I had met online and like people reaching out about the music, I was like, wait, this is much bigger than I thought it would be. Like, it's bigger than me and this little dream of mine. So I decided to just keep going, and now now here I am.
And now here you are. Thank goodness.
Wasn't really, I know, wasn't really expecting it, but I'm not hating it. So
Great. There you go. That's your next album title, I think.
yeah, my
Wasn't
book.
really expecting it. Yeah, your book, the
Yeah.
autobiography. No, that's great. And I mean, I think it's quite a similar story. Lots of people like starting off in choir and then doing the thing, but then having that moment where you really decide to kind of go for it and make it the full-on pop project that you wanted it to be. I feel that's a
Mhm,
very similar to kind of story to myself as well. And
mhm.
in terms of the stuff that you release now, you've got such a signature sound, I'd say. And like, how does that all the process work for you in terms of kind of songwriting and then producing it? Do you work with particular producers or how does it all come together?
It's a funny story. So I there's two people really that I use for producing, and then like songwriting. There's like one more person. It's just like friends, really, essentially. For that first album, it was just me, like with the songwriting, and the production came from my good friend JV, and my now best friend, but also like producer at the time, Kevin, who's in a band himself. So like we have been working together since like 2017, and I've been with JV since 2014. So like they helped me with that album or whatever. And then I was like, okay, guys, that's it. That's a wrap. We're done. And then when I like, left that album there, and again, like, the way that it was received was so positively that I was like, well, shoot, maybe I should keep going. Maybe I should do another song. Maybe I should try it again. But that time around, I like wanted to like branch out and be more than just myself this time. So songwriting, I wrote with Nick White, Kisos. This was also at a time where like the lockdown had just began because
Yeah.
of the pandemic. So
Hmm.
I was reaching out, as we all were, just kind of had all this time on our hands, and yeah, I just networked online, and
Hmm.
branched out and took a little bit of everything. And I feel like it's still me at the center of all this work, but with different little hints and touches of
Mm.
other artists and their talents. So it was a really cool journey and experience to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And how is it coming out of that other side of the pandemic? Like, are you doing more stuff kind of now in real life as well, or is it being kind of kept as a mostly kind of online project? Or
I think I would like to eventually, like, I've never done live shows because I really started out before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and
mm,
I had just moved to the city. So I was like, oh, well, that kind of puts a hold on my plans. And now that we're kind of on this outside, outside of that moment now, I would like to pick up those plans again. And we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that takes me.
yeah, absolutely. And so where in the world do we find you? Where are you?
I live in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas?
Dallas, Texas. I don't know who else is out here other than me and Good Guy Levi. I know
Okay,
there's a
yeah.
big scene in Austin,
Hmm.
but Dallas, I'm like, where's everyone at?
Where are they?
But yeah, come out.
Well, I've never been to Dallas. I had family who lived in Texas for a little bit. So they were in Houston. I feel like I always say it wrong. Houston,
Houston. Yeah, you
Houston,
got it.
who's not Houston,
Houston.
Houston. So I visited there. That was my first time in Texas.
Hmm.
And I did visit Austin as well, which is obviously like the sort of classic music scene, I guess, of
Yeah.
Texas. But yeah, it seemed pretty cool. But yeah, not never made it to Dallas, I'm afraid. So what's
Yeah.
Dallas like? What is Dallas
Dallas
like
is
as a place?
it's kind of crazy because I think when you think of music in Texas, Austin definitely I feel like takes the cake with that. I actually was in Austin a few weeks ago and I met up with Jackson. So
Ah,
it was
yes,
kind of
of course.
cool to meet him in real life. Obviously I had
Mm,
met him online, so to see him in person was such a surreal moment
yeah.
kind of. But so I imagine every moment that that occurs with other people that I've met online, it'll be the same way.
Yeah, totally.
but but yeah, I met him up. But Dallas is, I feel like the music scene here is a little different. Like Austin is very open and everyone is just kind of doing their thing and everyone accepts it. With Dallas, I feel like it's a specific sound and it's like specific, kind of bands and things like that. So you don't really see a lot of solo artists in Dallas. I think it's
Right.
more of a band kind of driven, dominated field as far as the
Mm,
city goes.
yeah,
The
yeah.
the the music landscape.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Very
Hmm.
different from the bands of Austin, I guess.
Yeah,
And do,
exactly.
and do you play an instrument as well, or
I do. I play the piano,
okay?
and I self-taught myself back in 2012. It's been a long time. I got a piano for Christmas, and I like it for a long time collected just dust. And I was like, well, let me try to play it. Let me figure out if I really want to pick it up or not. And I like self-taught myself, and then I ended up just taking the basic knowledge that I have of learning how to play, and then I ended up upgrading my piano board, like the keys. I got a different one, and then yeah, just now I just do covers and things like that. So it's kind of cool that I almost didn't pick it up, but I
Yeah,
did.
that's cool. What was the impetus to pick it up in the first place? Do you remember?
I Do you know the artist Lights? She's
Mm,
from Canada.
don't know
She
actually.
has she she's a really good singer songwriter.
Okay,
She's also very like niche.
okay.
She has a song called Cactus in the Valley, and I told myself it's it sounds kind of simple, very just kind of easy. Let me learn how to play that. And if I can play it, and if it's something easy that I can kind of catch onto and retain, then
Mhm.
I will still do it. And I did. And I was like, oh, that wasn't too bad. So now I was like, at the time, I was like, well, if I can do that, then surely I could do other songs as well, and
Yeah,
maybe originals. So
yeah. Well, I mean, that's how you can learn as well, isn't it? Like
yeah.
from
Hmm.
you know, doing other people's songs and maybe trying to interpret them in your own way, and then
Right.
yeah, picking up the inspiration along the way as well. And then suddenly you're creating your own songs.
Right. I know. Suddenly I'm releasing singles.
You know. And what is your process when it comes to writing? Do you start with the music? Do you start with the lyrics, ideas? How does it shape up for you?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think usually, so I don't know if you believe in any of this, but I'm a Cancer. That's my.
Me too.
Are you really?
Yeah,
When's your birthday?
10th of July.
I'm June 26th.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah, I'm very. I'm sure you can relate, maybe, but I'm very emotionally driven.
uh-huh.
So usually I'm like, okay, how I'm feeling is what I will start writing, or maybe I'll just sit on the piano and just play before I start writing something, just to kind of get that establish that mood, get in that headspace, really just tap into that first,
Yeah,
and then I feel like the words come out after that.
yeah. Lead from those feelings.
Yes, exactly.
We've got so many of them. We've got them all.
Yes. The whole
All the feelings.
spectrum
Yeah.
of emotions, the range.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, those Cancerians, very arty Cancerians, I think,
Yeah,
like from my
exactly.
perspective.
Make for a good song.
I think so. And
Yeah.
speaking of your songs, so we're going to play a couple of your tracks, but I'd love to hear a little bit about Fever, the story to Fever, if you can share with us a little bit about
Yes, I love Cher. Um
that. Let's do some share.
yeah, let's do some Cher coming up next.
Great.
Yeah, Fever is such a different song, I think, for me from the rest of all the songs that I've put out already before, because I think it's a little more still within the Eddie the Kid kind of brand, but a little more saucier. Like it's a little bit more steamier. Obviously, like it's very tame if you think about it, but for my brand, it's like a little different. Um, and so when I heard that song, actually, my friend JV produced it, who again I've been working with since like 2014, so like a long time. When he first sent me the instrumental, that was a song that I had nothing written or anything. I just kind of wanted to feel it out first. So he sent me the instrumental, and I was like, wait, this is giving.
Mm,
This is really fierce.
mhm.
There's elements of like 80s, kind of like this Mike Posner kind of vibe. So I was like, okay, this already just, sonically sounds different than my other like traditional pop kind of glossy, bubblegum kind of sounds. So I wanted to write something that was a little different
Mm,
and incorporate my Latin roots. I have
mm,
the second verse is in Spanish. So I
mhm.
was like, okay, this is cool. Like tapping into that was fun. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't, I'm not really vocal when it comes to, I speak Spanish too, and I understand it. I read it, I speak it. So I was like, now let me incorporate that also in my work as well.
Yeah.
And it was a challenge a little bit, because
Mhm.
songwriting can already be a little tricky sometimes. Um, so doing that in Spanish was a bit of a challenge, but, you know, definitely a milestone that I feel like I conquered.
Yeah, no, a good challenge as well, and that's great. I mean, I think yeah, more more music in different languages, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
other than just English all
Yes.
the time. And that's great. And like, um, how is it like lyrically in terms of like Spanish to English? What's the difference? I think about this quite a lot. So like think about writing lyrics in different languages and how you are kind of confined by the language itself and like things like rhymes and like
Yes.
sayings and like the sort of traditional things that you'd usually write in songs are going to be quite different. Like yeah, I don't know, what did you pick up from making that change?
It was okay. So it was actually, I'm glad you said that. It was very tricky because like you are like, excuse me, you are confined or like sticking to a certain formula, or
Mm,
like, whatever you want to call it. And so when it came to the Spanish, I this is the first time I've ever written anything in Spanish. So
Mm.
I was like, okay, I don't know how to approach this. So I'm just gonna write down how I'm feeling, what I want the song to emote. And so I was writing it down, just a little like, just lines, just kind of getting it out there, getting my toes in the water. And then as I was like going, I started like rhyming certain words, and with that, of course, I started phrasing the verse a little bit more, and it just kind of kept evolving at that point. Um, but yeah, it wasn't something that I was like, okay, I know where I'm going, and here's what we're gonna write about. I had to sit there, listen to the song on loop, and just kind of write essentially a short story.
Mm.
Phrases that weren't even connecting, just like writing things out. And eventually I kind of just pieced it all together.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I wonder if maybe it's like the storytelling maybe comes out a little bit more. I don't know, in that
Yeah.
language.
Oh yeah. I didn't think of that.
Potentially.
Yeah.
No, it is interesting. I always
Yeah.
find that stuff really, really interesting to think about. I don't know,
Mhm.
lyrics are always my thing. I love lyrics. I
Yeah.
think that's really
I
important.
was also I was listening to a lot of like Latin music at the time too. So I
Mm.
think that was also inspirational. So I there were moments where I had to like stop and like just kind of stop what I was doing and then just listen to music, just kind of reintegrate myself with like certain phrases or certain
Mm.
things that are being said because I don't speak Spanish every day. So I feel
Mhm.
like I'm a little dated with some of my terminology.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let me come back to this with fresh ears and we'll pick it up again. So it was definitely a challenge, but it was really fun, and I think that's what made it exciting for me because it was, a skill set that I don't really use,
Yeah.
but you know,
Why not?
use often at
Throw
least.
it, yeah, throw it in there as well. Why not? Exactly. Use all those tools that you have, all the
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Um, and another thing I want to sort of ask you about as well with your work is your artwork as well, because you've got a really like defined kind of brand and image and color palette, I would say. Like, so how is there particular people that you work with? How do you get involved in the design of your stuff? How does that come to?
Yes. So the artwork that I've been having, I think for the last couple of singles, has been by this really talented guy named Arturo. I found him, I think, through Instagram. Again, during the pandemic,
Oh yeah.
just I was like, here we are. Uh, and yeah, it for the first, it like happened in a way that I didn't even expect it to. It wasn't like I was sitting on this idea. But for the first singles I ever released for my first album, the pictures were 2D, and those were like I made those. So it was just kind of like not super anything fancy or anything like that. For the second set for the EP, Seeing Stars, I wanted to up the like elevate the look a little bit more for the brand, for my artist image. And so I was like, let's do 3D work, like 3D artwork. Um, and I found this person and I had seen some of their stuff and I was like, okay, let's do it. Like let's why not? Like, I have nothing to lose here. So I pitched him, my idea and like for the first single for the EP, This Isn't Love, and which that
Tune.
idea with like the little yeah, the artwork for that came from me and my best friend Brendan. We were just like rambling about like what the song emoted, what we got from the song, like what our ideas were. So I feel like when it comes to certain art pieces or like the concept or things like that, I don't think that it's just me. It's me and like my best friend Brendan or my partner Mark. Like we're definitely all kind of just talking it out, clearing
Mm.
the cobwebs a little bit, circling in on something, and then just going in for it.
Yeah.
So
No, great. I like
it's
collaboration
fun.
is key with that as well.
Yeah,
And like, yeah, do you enjoy that side of the project as well? Like looking
I
at the art.
do. I do because I get to, obviously my perspective and my ideas are mine, but when you get to share them and also just view other people's perspectives and
Mm.
how they're thinking or picking up on what they feel from a song or an idea versus what I feel and what I think, it's cool because then now you're just mixing different worlds and you're all colliding
Yeah.
and it's just a cesspool of a lots of creativity. So it's cool.
Cesspool of creativity.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, my that's gonna be my second book.
That's the yeah, the second. That's the tell all joke.
Yes. Yeah, my tips and tricks.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
And what have you got coming up on the horizon? Any other projects we should be watching out for, listening out for?
Yes, I have a collaboration actually coming out
Mm,
this
love a
summer,
collab.
hopefully.
Cool.
I don't know if it's going to be June or July just yet, but it's going to be kind of piggybacking off of Fever.
Hmm.
It's going to be a lot more Latin inspired, a lot more Spanish. It's going to be a little more saucier. And the person that I brought onto the song really fits the uh, the feel that I wanted
Mm.
to bring out. So it's a really cool, fun feature, and it's really good. I mean, I'm of course I'm gonna say that because it's my song, but I think it's really fun. It's something for the girlies, something for the everyone to get ready to go out
That's
to play when they're on the beach. So it'll be fun.
great. I mean, take me there. Sounds good. And how's that
Yes.
process for you, the collaboration with the actual writing? Like, do you
So
enjoy that? How did that come about?
yes, this is actually so this song I had cut it by myself first, and so
Hmm.
I was like gonna release it as a solo originally, but then I was like, well, I've been wanting to work with this specific artist for a while, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna shoot my shot. Why not? Like the song's done. If I don't lose anything if they say no. So I sent them a message, and I actually met this person in I don't know if it's going to say too much. I met this person in New York back in October because they were doing a show, and I we connected. It was fun. It was great. I had already enjoyed this person from a side, from the sidelines before meeting them, you know, at that point. But meeting them really was just like, oh, like this person is so cool. They are also a Cancer, so we
Hey,
connected.
hey.
We connected, and it was great. And so I was like, we're friends. That's great. But now I kind of want to work with them. But
Hmm.
should I shoot my shot? Should I not? And I did it anyway. And they were like, oh my
Great.
gosh, I love this. Please, let's do it. And then
Love it.
now here we are.
That's super exciting. Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
you've just got to ask sometimes, right? I guess.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I
No,
know. It
that's
was
really
super.
cool.
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool.
Well, excited. You're not giving us full details, but that's okay. Teasing us, that's fine.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Hmm.
um,
Right.
and so the other track that we're going to play as well is "Seen Stars" as well. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Oh, I love seeing stars. The EP and the track. When I came to this project for the EP, I obviously like my debut album Sleep Talk was about a breakup. If you listen to it, the songs they start off happy and it's just this trajectory of like unfortunately the decline and the breaking point of that relationship.
Mm.
So in this project, I wanted it to be a little bit more lighter, a little bit more happy, picking up from that, sad moment of that relationship and now like moving forward. So the EP starts with Lunar Tide, which is a song about, two people that, it's just not going well. And then you go, you get into Fever, and then you get into Gregory, you get into, all these other songs, and then you end with Seeing Stars, which is like the song that I think describes, finding love again and just like feeling those butterflies and like just kind of the cheesy, all of it, all of the little things like that. So I wanted to Lunar Tide was the first song that I wrote for the EP, which I didn't know I was going to title Sing Stars, but I wanted to keep the, kind of space references
Mm.
tied in. And then if you hear the whole EP from start to finish, there's little elements, little Easter eggs of song titles referenced in other songs and like
Yeah.
just space themed kind of brand throughout the whole thing. So I don't know. Sing Stars is just a happier note to be on, and I think I explored a lot personally that I wanted to sing about, like
Mm.
finding love again. So I, I thought it was important to just you know showcase that in my music as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you use music as a bit of a way of doing that for yourself, exploring getting some things out?
Yes, I do because it's so funny. In real life, I feel like I'm very comical. I'm silly. Like I'm not trying to be this like person that takes themselves too seriously. So when it comes to my music, I feel like this is almost like a separate entity that I am outside
Right.
of who I am just individually. So when I do get to write songs or like put things out or like, you know, work on projects, it's like I get to step into this character almost, this like
Yeah.
Eddie the Kid person. And it's fun to talk about, or I guess in this situation, sing about certain topics that I normally maybe not, wouldn't discuss on a day-to-day basis, like
Mhm.
as myself. So it's cool. It's therapeutic at the end of the day. So it's nice to get it out, have it
Yeah.
exist out there now, not just with me and my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think everyone should do it. It's a great
Yeah,
form of therapy.
yeah, exactly.
You know, music, art, any creating anything. It's good. I've been doing a bit
Mhm.
of there's this thing called like morning pages. Some some person, I can't remember what their name is now, but some podcast I can't remember the
Yeah.
thread of how I picked up this, but basically the idea is that you to kind of help creativity is that every morning you just wake up and then write 3 pages of like
Oh wow.
whatever comes out of your head. I know I haven't managed to do it every day.
Yeah.
I would say I did manage to do it for a little bit for a while. Quite a lot of the time, you just have a bit of a rant to yourself. It's kind of just like you know, getting your thoughts out into a page. But
Yeah.
then, yeah, but then I noticed after a little bit, then those kind of I started kind of making up stuff a little bit more, so there's sort of some creativity coming out in there as well. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know, and then maybe at some point that will turn into something, or it will just
Yeah.
spur on some thoughts that haven't been put out.
I was gonna say, do you ever go back and read it and you're like, whoa,
I
like
haven't.
what was I thinking, or why was I feeling that
That
like
would,
that
yeah,
day?
that would
Or
be interesting to me. I mean, I used to when I was a kid. I used to keep diaries quite a lot, so I used to write quite a lot of diaries. So I'm a bit worried about where they all are. I've still got a few here. I feel like some are still back at my parents' house, which I worry about what I wrote because I don't know
yeah.
what's in them. So
Sure,
yeah,
sure, sure.
maybe sometime I'll publish them all for whoever
Yeah.
is really bored and would like to read all of
That'll
that.
be your book.
Yeah, that's it. Diaries from year so and so.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same kind of thing. I guess it's getting those thoughts and feelings out of you onto
Yeah.
whatever format it kind of it just gets out of you, doesn't it? Like it makes it processes it somehow. I think.
I know. And that's so cool. That I actually I should probably start doing that. I feel like I feel like as of late not much has been happening for me to like write about certain things.
Mm,
So I'll just take certain concepts and maybe it's not even like super reflective of what I'm going through in my real life, but I'll write about it anyway because I think it's fun. It's something that I want to
yeah.
hear or like whatever. Um but yeah, that's kind of cool. Journaling
Mm.
really is the
Journaling.
unsung hero here.
Journaling's cool, kids. Yeah.
Yeah, get into it.
Find those
Yeah.
journals. No, I absolutely. Oh, and music is cool as well. So in the ideal world, where do you see all of your sort of music and projects going? Do you have a projection of Eddie the Kid superstar life?
You know what? If I could, and well, maybe I can. Let me speak this into the universe.
You can.
I would love to just you know have my music be like something that I focus on and just be my full-time job. That'd be fun. But I also do enjoy like just writing with other people or like being part of the creative process for someone or like helping with someone else's ideas. Like that's also fun to me because it takes the pressure of
Mm-hmm.
like having to do things for myself or like, oh my gosh, this deadline is coming up, what am I going to do? It's like not as stressful now. It's like I'm just helping someone out with their song or their
Yeah.
cover art or a lyric video. It's fun. So honestly, anything that could help me evolve, grow, and enjoy just the creative process and just singing, I think that'd be great. Wherever this goes, and if it doesn't go anywhere, I'll still be releasing music for myself. you know?
I think the same thing as well. Like those moments where I'm like, what am I doing? He's like, but I'm like, well, actually, I enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep on doing
Yeah.
it in
And it keeps
whatever
me
way.
sane.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's
Yeah.
just me, I don't know, playing guitar on a porch when I'm 80, to myself and my cats. That's fine.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
They'll get the best tickets in the house.
Exactly, right? Free tickets. Well, Eddie, it's been absolutely lovely chatting to you. I appreciate it. We made it happen. We've been chatting for over the last couple of years, I guess, like for a little bit.
I
I've been
know.
loving all your tracks, so it's really
Oh,
a
thank
pleasure to
you.
kind of actually meet you this way, and then hopefully in real life. I'm saying this to everybody that I chat to, but it's going to happen.
I know.
Just
It's so nice to
world
finally get to meet
tour.
you.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
I
need to do
know.
maybe we need to do a tour of creative Cancerians. I think that could be there's
Oh,
something.
wait. That's our joint book,
Okay,
actually.
yeah, creative Cancerians. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll leave that one with you. We'll catch up on that one.
No, thank you so much for having me. This was fun. And I enjoy chatting with you online and now in person. That
Exactly.
or virtually. That was great. So nice to be here. Thank you for having
Great.
me.
Well, and all the best with these upcoming projects. We look forward to that collaboration in the summer.
Yes. Yeah, in the
All right.
summertime.
Okay. Thanks. Take
Alrighty.
care.
See
Chat
ya.
soon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.